There are few articles which you are supposed to understand only through maps. Again, please remember, don't think there is a PSI or bias or international relations bias in the news articles that we are discussing. These articles are very easy to explain even to a beginner. Unlike polity and economy articles, which will take some basic background, you need to have some decent amount of clarity, right? So the articles I'm going to discuss today are based on this article by Mr. Stanley John, okay, and then one more article by Mr. M.K. Narayanan, that is about G20 and the outcomes, okay. At the same time, we are also going to discuss one very interesting article with in relation to AI, okay. So first we'll cover the AI, as already some part of our time has been wasted, right? We will try to cover the most important things. I hope the screen is visible and I am audible. If you have any issues whatsoever, make sure you comment in the chat box. I can see the chat box so that we can have a discussion. Right. So first things first. What is this article about? This article is about artificial intelligence, and there is a need for artificial intelligence, especially from the context of children. Why from the context of children, and what is so special about it, and what are the threats that children can have? Okay, this article is not only a template for children, it can also be used for adults as well. Overall, artificial intelligence regulation, right? So first of all, see, the artificial intelligence is dominated by a handful of companies. The most obvious company in the news is OpenAI, right? Then we have Microsoft, Google, and some other companies like IBM and startups. All these people are using what? Artificial intelligence. But the thing is, the impact that artificial intelligence has is immense. It will change the way we work, the way we live, and even democracies. Everything will be affected by the artificial intelligence. When such huge amount of change is about to happen, okay, there is supposed to be something called as regulation. What do you regulate? How AI is used, how AI is applied, right? Like this, AI has to have some basis. Now, a company called as OpenAI has released a app called as ChatGPT. All of you must have familiarity with it, must have used it at least once. So ChatGPT is there. When ChatGPT is there, okay, if you ask it anything, it will give you summary. As a user, as a reader, you are very happy, okay. But where is the information coming from? Is the information provider getting some amount of benefit? Okay, did you take the permission of the information provider? For example, books have been fed into the database of artificial intelligence, okay. So with whose permission have you done all these things? Okay, next, is there any bias filtering mechanism in ChatGPT? Let's imagine a 10th class student or 11th class student in India searching for something in ChatGPT or some other app, and there is a huge amount of information that has been dumped on him, and it might have some amount of biases. Okay, who is responsible for feeding biases into that that young adults mindset? Okay, so these are the questions that this article nicely raises, and we will try to look at it one by one. Okay, first of all, in India we are about to have something called as Global Summit on Artificial Intelligence. So here the takeaway is India is spearheading global regulations. Okay, India is spearheading what? Global regulations. That means if India is not, okay, let's say, sorry, if India is not making regulations, okay, India will be kept outside the regulations. That means we will be forced to follow regulations set by USA, China, UK, and all these countries, and that will be imposed on us. Rather than that, we should become what? We should also become part of this group and set regulations for everyone. Okay, or else the makers will make the laws according to their own vested interests. Okay, so that is a major takeaway here. So that is one good thing, that India is about to contribute a lot to AI regulations. Second thing, why we should have AI regulations? as you can clearly read, it has financial implications because it is going to make huge amount of impact in financial boost for the overall economy, right? uh, Artificial intelligence has huge potential. With see it's whatever I'm saying till now is self-explanatory. From here on we will try to add value. What is value addition? This line, this orange color line, so India is going to set a policy, uh, what example for global south. Okay, as you know, developing countries are looking towards India, and India will set a very nice benchmark for the other countries to emulate. So not only we are shaping the foreign policy of India, or artificial intelligence regulations of India, we are going to also set the tone for the regulations of overall world, which will be a very good thing for India. Next, this article main focus is on groups, that is children and adolescents. Okay, why these people are victims? Now think about it. Okay, uh, it can be app based learning, it can be lot of things. So artificial intelligence and mobile phone usage will lead to addiction, mental health issues, overall safety. There are games which has forced people to commit suicide, like blue whale challenge and all these things. A normal game can push people into dialogue and discussion. Okay, this generative you know uh, artificial intelligences, they can chat. Okay, today there is an update for chat gpt which can listen, hear and see. That means if you are chatting with artificial intelligence, it will say I'm not understanding the problem, you can take a photo and share that photo with chat gpt. Oh, this is, and it will understand the context. For example, you are unable to open a package. Okay, take a photo and send it, how do I unlock this package or something, it will tell you. That means these learning models are getting better and better. Interaction with them will be more. So issues of addictions will happen, mental health issues will happen. Okay, and it will also change your social uh, interactions. You feel like you don't need friends, or you don't have to talk to a lot of people because you can share, ask everything from artificial intelligence, so on and so forth. Okay, next, not only this, the keywords are very very important. For example, dark patterns. uh, how many of you have a clue about what is a dark pattern? Any idea? Cheap marketing tricks. Okay, more or less one can also say unethical marketing practices, right? It's not only cheap marketing practices, unethical marketing practices. So dark patterns are where companies like startups or any established companies can use technology, ui, ux and all these things to make the user get addicted to that particular app. Okay, so, and what is opaque algorithm? Opaque algorithm is you actually don't know how the algorithm works, but the company says it's clean and all those things, but the algorithm might be using uh, you know uh, some things that which the user is not aware of. For example, if you are talking a lot of marketing related stuff, like I want to buy this, I want to buy that company product somewhere around your phone, sometimes accidentally or randomly you see ads related to the same companies. Okay, you might feel it's like a coincidence. Okay, but is Google, example wise, is Google telling us that it is listening to all our audio conversations, our mails etc and using ads? Right, mails we know definitely for sure, but even normal conversations we have with our friends when our mobiles are in a pocket, okay, still the same company ads might sometime show up. Okay, all these are dark patterns, are opaque algorithms which we are not aware of. Okay, and a young person is easily susceptible to all these things in comparison to the adults. Okay, next, tech based distortions, that is ideal physical appearances. Okay, there was a report few years ago, I mentioned in the other classes as well. Good number of Instagram users, especially girls, okay, are in depression because they are not having enough likes, or they don't have Instagrammable face, or personality or physical appearance. Okay, you don't have the hair that Instagram likes, or Instagram uh, what people expect from you in Instagram. So when artificial intelligence increases, your photos will get better and better. People will have certain perceptions to use what kind of appearances are needed. So like this, Instagram will create, or general society will create a perception, I need to look like this. Okay, and that is going to create huge amount of problems for parents, society as a whole, and mental health issues. Okay, all these are just the tip of the iceberg. Okay, next, not only that, today's youth is tomorrow's adults, right? They are the future, they are the next generation. Okay, what happens is, if you are brainwashed with misinformation, okay, that is a problem. Next, you are also susceptible to radicalization. Okay, then all of you know what is cyberbullying. This year ethics case study, one of the ethics case study came on this particular topic, right? That is, what is cyberbullying. People can record your actions or something, they can upload it on YouTube, they can make fun out of you. Okay, so there is a lot of cyberbullying exercises that are happening, both from known and unknown factors. Next, there is also a threat of social grooming, sexual grooming. What is sexual grooming? It is a concept where you don't have a lot of people to talk to offline. Okay, then you go to online in some chat group or on some random person, you start talking to them, and they will make you feel very very comfortable. It's okay, nothing will happen. They will give you moral support in the beginning, you'll get very attached to that person. Then slowly they will start exploiting you. It doesn't have to be a girl child. Please remember, sexual grooming and all these things are not only about one gender, it can happen to men also. So sexual exploitation can happen in either way, right? There's a lot of depth that needs to be understood. So this is one issue, and the last one is doxing. This is also a prelims question. What is doxing? Any idea? Without searching, can anyone tell me? Have you ever heard about the term called as doxing? What about others? Any clue? Okay, fine. So doxing. So you have to remember at least these terms. Basically, prelims questions will come in these terms. The term doxing was recently seen in the news related to. It basically means, uh, when you join my company or something like that, I will get access of lot of information, right? Okay, all that information will be stored by me, and it will be shared online without your consent. Okay, so your privacy no longer exists, right? So your phone number, your address, your personal details, your friends with whom, your college details, a lot of this stuff can be uploaded, and that will lead to targeted marketing. That means you will become a part of the marketing pattern. So that is a very severe issue. For an adult it is even more severe, because that might lead to stalking, other issues, you don't know how to handle them. Then that will also lead to mental health issues. So like this, one thing will lead to another. Okay, next, there is also a wonderful observation he makes in the article, that is indirect effects. That is the second layer effects of sharents. Who are sharents? Parents who share. Okay, if you open Twitter, WhatsApp, or Instagram, or anything, okay, there are a lot of young parents who share everything that their kids do. All their photos are online, so parents who share a lot are called as sharents. Okay, sharing photos of kids is not a wrong thing, it's not a harmful thing, but the problem is those photos or those details which you upload will become a permanent memory of online. Okay, one day when your child grows up and he or she prefers to have a lot of privacy, okay, unfortunately that is not possible. Why? You have already made a lot of uh, photos available online, which might be used against him or her in the future. Not only that, it is also possible, right? to use them probably in deep fakes. Okay, next. I hope you have heard this term at least, deep fakes. We have discussed one or two times in the class, right? Right, what are deep fakes? Deep fakes are artificially created images or videos, especially videos, okay, that the person has not done anything, okay, that person do not have any video online, but using his or her existing photos which are freely available on Facebook and other places, a video can be made which will be like, very realistic, that will demoralize the kids. You can understand a innocent girl seeing her own video online, which she have never done. Okay, and society may not be ready to believe her immediately. That will lead to a lot of problem, right? Okay, so I hope you understand the complexities that we are talking about. All this is when just AI is in the beginning stages. AI is not even mastered. Okay, but tomorrow everybody can create deep fake videos, then that will lead to unforeseen consequences. Okay, next, the last two major issues that they discuss are, one is India is a hugely diverse country, unlike some countries which have homogeneous population, culture and all these things. Okay, India is hugely diverse, and the problem is artificial intelligences are famous for, okay, the offline biases to online. Okay, because they can carry offline biases to online, they will also teach the young kids the same biases. Okay, they will also teach the same biases to the kids. Okay, so for example, Muslims are like this, Christians are like this, so some artificial intelligence might reply saying, this can happen, and a student who only relies on artificial intelligence to learn might actually start believing that this is true. So I hope you understood the diversity of the problems, right? From from social grooming, that is how you look, how you eat, what you eat, all the way till what you believe, everything can be shaped by artificial intelligence before you turn 16. And as all of us know, whatever values we carry today are the values that we carry only because of how we learned it in the school level. Okay, that is a very impressionable age. That impressionable age will be now hijacked by artificial intelligence companies and apps. Okay, they will use behavioral economics and lot of stuff just to shape the kids to become whatever they want to become. Okay, sir, you are exaggerating things. Is it really possible? I will tell you one example. Today, in in multiple newspaper articles, there is a point which says Indians stopped saving money. Okay, household savings are lowest ever in the history, probably in the last 50 years. This is the year where household savings are very very low. Okay, you know why household savings are low? Household saving means your father gets a salary, he will deposit in the bank, but now you are making money, you are not saving such kind of money. So savings are coming down, Indians are not investing in savings. The problem is very simple: EMI culture and consumerism. Okay, the superficial points are EMI and consumerism. That means people are getting addicted to shopping, and these companies are very nicely brainwashing people to take credit card. It's okay to buy an iPhone, it's okay to buy something which you already have. If adults can be targeted using marketing, and this is becoming a social phenomenon, an entire country with adults is falling into the trap of EMI. The same marketing tricks applied on 16-year-old or 14-year-old will have much much more impact. Okay, next. So now that we have discussed the problems in depth, solutions are very very easy. What are the solutions? Okay, just like almost all solutions in UPSC, it will not rest on one person. It should always take a holistic approach. What is holistic approach? First one is the user, that is the young adults. Okay, young adults should be sensitized. They should be given some seminars, training, education, books, pamphlets, short videos or whatever, to tell them how they will fall into the trap of AI, and why they should not believe in biases, discrimination and all these things. So good amount of education again somehow has to be implemented. The next one is parents, the third one is government, fourth one is companies. Okay, so every stakeholder at every level should have a moral responsibility to make sure that artificial intelligence will not create a generation of adults who are brainwashed, but a generation of adults who have critical thinking. Okay, so the solutions are always simple. We can learn from international examples as cited in the article, but again it won't lie with one person. We cannot blame the user, we cannot blame the parent, company, or the government. Everybody has to come together. Okay, and especially when it comes to technology, governments will always be at least 10 steps behind the technology. By the time they make a basic law on artificial intelligence will move 10 feet ahead. Okay, it will always happen. Law and technology can never catch each other. Okay, but moral responsibility of the companies will make a lot of difference. Recently in USA, Sam Altman and all these people who are using this artificial intelligence went to the US Senate, and they asked the US Senate to create a law which will regulate the artificial intelligence companies. That means they are asking for self-regulation plus government regulation. So, as I said, all the four stakeholders who are the users should be very nicely integrated. That is what makes all the difference. Okay, so remember that's a template. For whatever answers you write, mostly technology related or anything, the solution does not lie with one person. The solution always lies with multiple people. Okay, right? Any confusions? Okay, next. So yesterday we have discussed about the Saudis Shia Sunni article. So today I will try to club all the articles using the map. So Stanley an article on West Asia. So first I will show you the important region. This region is called as Wana region. That is the West Africa and West Asia and North of Africa. Okay, West Asia and North of Africa. So for a beginner, you need to have a very clear understanding of the terms. Okay, the term is West Asia. Okay, now why am I stressing on that simple word? If you look at this term, Middle East is used by USA, but in official Indian discussion, we always use the term West Asia. The same region has two names. One is West Asia, the other one is Middle East. India calls it as West Asia, whereas USA calls it as Middle East. So this is part of PGII, right? That is a USA based infrastructure project. Okay, or at least USA is trying to promote this so that it will connect the Europe all the way till India. India is a beneficiary of the uh, you know global infrastructure project. That is one thing. This can also be a counter to whom the Belt and Road Initiative of China. Okay. Now, as I told you yesterday, for this to fructify or to become a reality, who are the major players? The major players are Israel, Saudi. Okay. These people have to come together and reconcile with each other. Now, what happened? If you can see, as you can see on the map, this is a map about Abraham Accords, more or less. Okay, this is also a map about Abraham Accords. This map shows all the countries who have more or less normalized the ties with whom? The country called as Israel. Okay, Israel is a very good friend of USA. Okay, and it has a lot of weightage. As you can see in the map, even if I zoom, it's very hard for you to find where is Israel. It's such a small country, but the amount of impact Israel have in this entire region is unbelievable. Okay, not only that, it also has influence on USA and India. Okay, that is the power of Israel. Next, the pink countries which you see here, UAE, okay, or Egypt, Morocco, all these are members of uh, the Abraham Accords. That means all these countries have openly made friendship with Israel. Now, that doesn't mean Saudi Arabia and Israel are not talking to each other. As I said, back channel diplomacy is happening, but openly they are not talking to each other. Okay. Next, this map is again the same thing, that is Abraham Accord, more or less all the states which are having ties with Israel. Now if Israel and Saudi can start talking to each other, that will make all the difference. All these points are repeatedly told so that it will establish a thought process in your mind. Why the thought process in your mind? Because without these two countries, India's energy security won't be happy. Okay, in the long term we will have a problem. Next, now I hope you'll remember the map, right? Okay, why remembering the map is important. Hmm. In IR especially, you have to remember the words, very very important keywords. Yesterday I told you that Saudi Arabia is a leader for whom? Sunni kingdom. Israel is a state for Jews, so it's a Jewish dominated state, and USA was very influential in Saudi Arabia or West Asia region. This is what I said. So if you observe this term, what is domineering? You need to understand the importance of keywords, right? What is domineering? It's like dominate plus engineering. Okay, so you are not only dominating, but you are engineering the domination. That means you are deciding who will be the king, who will have power, who will have weapons, who won't have weapons, who will become financially powerful, who won't become financially powerful. All these things you are not only allowing the fate to decide, you are engineering. For example, again we'll come back here. Okay, see the West Asia region now, and you will see it in a totally different light. Okay, this country has more or less been single-handedly destroyed by which country? USA. Okay, by sorry, by USA only. Why? Sanctions. It's a powerful country. It can grow money-wise. It has a lot of talent. Just like Israel, it also have engineering capabilities, lot of human capital, potential, and all these things. But because of its friends, that is Saudi Arabia and Israel, didn't want this country to grow. What did USA do? USA has put a sanctions around this country. That means you cannot do business with that country. That country cannot freely export oil, cannot import technology. So like this, it tried to maintain the domination of Saudi Arabia by engineering sanctions against Iran. Right, you get my point, right? The term is very simple, domination plus engineering. So who is powerful, who is not powerful, who is deciding? USA is deciding. Now that role is slowly being tried to be captured by whom? China. Okay. Hmm. As you can see in this map very clearly, okay, there are multiple security or regional complexes. Okay, I'm clubbing multiple articles, please don't get confused. I'm still talking in the same region. Okay, we are talking about this region. Which region? This region. Okay, now this region is very important to two players. One is the USA, the other one is China. Okay, that means USA have some interest in Middle East. Okay, but it doesn't have direct interest. At the same time, it doesn't want to China's influence to grow in the Middle East region. As you can see, it's properly centered around the middle part. Okay, west to the Asia. So it will have implications on India, China, Russia, and also US and its friends. Okay, so that is the importance of this region. What will happen if that region becomes stable? It will help USA and its allies to get more money. Okay, that is a summary of the entire discussion. This is what Mr. Stanley John was trying to argue. Okay, so USA will not let go of the West Asia totally. At the same time, it doesn't want China to totally become superpower in that particular area. So now the world is having two friends or two groups. That is, one group is USA, the other group is China. Okay, because these two groups have some kind of influence, India should be very very careful. Okay, not to fall into the trap of any one group. Okay, next, what he says is India's overall policy should be anchored in the policy of multilateral engagement. What he's simply saying is, again, if you remember the map, there are multiple countries: Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, Israel, UAE, like this. There are lot many countries. India should start talking to each and every country on its own happily and get whatever India can get. Just like the Saudi Arabia, we are making friends with Saudi Arabia. Israel is our friends. Let them have issues, let them come together. If they come together, India will gain. If they are apart also, still India is gaining. There is nothing for India to lose. But if India starts taking sides of any one country or another country, okay, that will be a huge problem. So India should not join any one gang, but India should be free so that it will have multiple engagement, and that will make sure India gets maximum benefit out of this region. That is a summary. Okay, right? I mean, I know it's little bit advanced for you or very simple also, but the thought process is very very simple. There are good number of players already: USA and its friends, China and its friends. Okay, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, because you have already some kind of influence. For example, I2U2, India recently joined West Asia grouping called as I2U2. India got some economic integration. The West Asian countries are recognizing India. That means this is one example. Only because India is recognized as a good partner, these countries are happy to do business with India. So now that you have already established yourself as a good friend, let's keep things as it is. Okay, if possible, increase your friendship. That is fine. Don't maintain neutrality. That is also fine. But don't join groups and reduce your influence. This is a summary of that article. Okay. Next, there is also one front page article in Hindu today. I will show that article. Right? Tibetans are seeking more autonomy, not separation from China, right? Okay, this entire principle comes from a policy called as five fingers or palm. Okay, so the red color is like the palm, and these parts, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are like fingers, palm and the fingers. That is how China sees this particular area. Okay, why China is so interested in the entire region? It is because China believes in a concept called as buffer states. Okay, buffer between whom and whom? Between India and China. Okay, so what is the meaning of buffer? All of you know, understand the buffer, right? Buffer is between a cushion between two countries. It's like, space between two countries. So first, slowly it occupied the Tibet. Okay, now it is saying Ladakh, Nepal, Sikkim, Bhutan, Arunachal Pradesh. All these are also like five fingers. So they belong to us. Yesterday we discussed about Asian Games. Why China is interested in Arunachal Pradesh? Now you know. Why China is interested in Ladakh? Why did China try to do the Doklam issue, Sikkim and Bhutan? It tried to create issues for us because it has a philosophy where it believes China, Tibet, and all these five are actually, traditionally belongs to China, or they act as like a buffer between India and China, so that if China can have all this area, okay, it will be satisfied. But the thing is, it will never be satisfied. Expansionist policies will keep on increasing. And if you observe the map clearly, it's very very clearly established none of these things belong to China. But one small problem here is we have a policy called as One China policy. Okay, India has officially recognized this and Hong Kong belongs to China. Okay, so more or less, we can say China totally owns the Tibet. But what China has done is China has won the Tibet through force. Okay, it did not win the hearts and minds of the Tibetan people. So there is still some amount of disaffection in the Tibet region related to China. That is why China is hell bent on making sure that Dalai Lama does not speak anything about China, or he doesn't visit any places in Arunachal Pradesh. Because the moment Dalai Lama visits Arunachal Pradesh, okay, China has a fear that government of India is trying to create some disaffection towards China. Okay, it always lives in some kind of insecurity in a way, if you think about it. Okay, so this five finger funda you don't forget. Okay, most of the issues, if you look at with China, they come in and around these five regions only. Okay, the north sector, middle sector, and eastern sector. These are the three sectors. Right now, this area is occupied by China. It is trying to slowly occupy Arunachal Pradesh. It has tried to create some issues in this region called as Chicken Neck Corridor, that is Siliguri area, and India-Bhutan relations also got some, bone of contention because of China's actions. Okay, it is also slowly trying to become best friend of Nepal through Belt and Road Initiative, right? So China is having a very good clarity on what it is doing. It's our responsibility to counter China. This map will give you the context to this particular article. Okay, Tibetans are seeking more autonomy, not separation from China, says Dalai Lama. Okay, now you understand what he's trying to say, right? They don't want to get away from China because they cannot, but at the same time they should have their own freedom, thought process, diversity. But unfortunately China doesn't believe in that diversity aspect much. Got some clarity? If I'm going fast or if you are not understanding anything, please don't hesitate and let me know. Okay, when will China be satisfied, right? That one thing that we can never know. China has always have a policy of expansionism. See that uh, there might be some arguments to change one China policy in the future, but again we always have this principle, right? Never interfere in the internal matters of another country. We can always lobby for uh, you know uh, more dynamism within Tibet. But please be very clear. Once this present Dalai Lama, you know, is changed, okay, then the link between India and Tibet will more or less be gone. It won't have the same moral authority because the present Dalai Lama is the same from 1959, right? Okay, so he's the undisputed leader, official leader of Tibetan believers. So whatever he says will have a lot of moral weightage both in India and in Tibet. Okay, after this person, the dynamism will totally change. It will tilt towards China. So we may not interfere in Tibet, in my understanding. But if we can settle the boundary officially with uh, China, then Ladakh, Sikkim, Bhutan, Arunachal Pradesh, this entire region will be free from China's influence, right? Whatever China will do after that, it will be very clear that it is China's fault. Right now Arunachal Pradesh is disputed because we don't have a boundary. But once the dispute is settled, then if somebody changes a name of Arunachal Pradesh town or city, automatically the blame will land on China. Okay, so that is why India has very rightly and correctly understood whatever we do with China, there is no negotiation except for the agreement first. First agreement on permanent boundary, then only anything else. Okay, we have a class now. Yeah. Okay. Right. Any confusions in what we have discussed so far? Did I go too fast in that China article or the Middle East article? From last 3 4 days, I'm repeating the same points. All I have changed is show you the map, like where is Israel and what are we talking about. So if you find it like little bit fast or something, do let me know. Don't hesitate. We'll try to simplify things. Okay. Any questions? We will discuss about other articles also slowly, but once these major articles are out of our way, there is nothing in the newspapers to discuss because G20 we have discussed. We are bored with G20, Middle East, IMEC corridor. Once you are free, we can happily focus on the small articles. If you have any questions, please let me know, or else we will continue the discussion tomorrow. Why America has put sanctions on Iran? It's a good question, Neeraj. So basically, the simple thing is Mr. Obama, when he was president, he said, Iran can use nuclear energy for electricity generation. That means power generation. So there is a nuclear proliferation and all those things. But simple, I will tell you in simple terms. Iran can use nuclear energy for power generation. It can grow and it can develop. This is what Obama has said. Okay. But once Obama has changed he completed his term when Donald Trump became president of the USA. He said, how can you give nuclear energy and expect Iran to be good? Okay. His argument is once the nuclear technology is with Iran, it will not only use it for power generation, it will also use it to create nuclear missiles or weapons. Okay, it is quite possible using the same technology, uranium enrichment. He said they will not stop at the power, they will use it for nuclear weapons. Then Iran will become a nuclear state, which is a threat to their friends Israel and Saudi Arabia. So to protect its friends, what USA has done is it has imposed sanctions on Iran. Okay, now the irony, what happened, because they have imposed sanctions, that is when Iran has started threatening remove sanctions. Okay, or else we will actually make nuclear weapons. You get the point, right? Like remove sanctions so that we will not make nuclear weapons. Okay, and they went very close to create weapons grade uranium. Why did USA impose sanctions? It imposed sanctions because Iran has the technology to create nuclear weapons. It's like a circle. Okay, again one day we will discuss all these points. IR classes you will slowly understand. Yeah, any other questions? Right. Okay, then see you all tomorrow. Thank you.